Have you ever walked past someone on the street and wondered about their story? What if that person, holding a cardboard sign, was on the brink of becoming a millionaire? It sounds like a movie plot, but for one man, this was his incredible reality. This is the story of how a life on the streets transformed into a life of unimaginable success. And it all started with a simple, yet brilliant, idea. Imagine this. You've lost everything, your home, your job, your sense of hope. You're living day to day, just trying to survive. This was the rock bottom where our story begins. For years, he navigated the harsh realities of homelessness, a daily struggle that would break most people, but even in the darkest of times, a spark of ingenuity remained. He wasn't just looking for a handout, he was looking for an opportunity, a way to reclaim his life. And that opportunity came from a place no one would expect. One day, while observing the world around him, he noticed a common problem. Something people dealt with every single day but hadn't quite figured out how to solve efficiently. It was a small inconvenience for most, but for him, it was a light bulb moment. What if he could create a solution? A simple, effective fix for this everyday annoyance. While others saw a problem, he saw a business. He began to sketch out his idea on scraps of paper, using whatever he could find. His office was a public library, his funding was the spare change he collected. He knew he couldn't do it alone. The first step was turning his rough sketches into a real prototype. This is where his resourcefulness truly shone. He used his unique position to his advantage. He wasn't afraid to ask for help, to talk to people, to share his vision with passion and conviction. He approached local machinists, engineers, and small business owners. Many turned him away, but a few saw the fire in his eyes and the genius in his idea. They offered their time, their tools, and their expertise, not for payment, but because they believed in him. Slowly but surely, piece by piece, his invention started to take shape. With a working prototype in hand, he faced his next giant hurdle: funding. How does a homeless man pitch a business idea to investors? He didn't have a fancy suit or a polished PowerPoint presentation. What he had was a powerful story and a product that worked. He entered local business competitions and attended free networking events. He stood out, not just because of his circumstances, but because of his unwavering belief in his product. He could explain exactly how it worked, who it would help, and how it would make money. His raw passion was more convincing than any corporate jargon. Then came the moment that changed everything. At a small, local inventors' fair, a seasoned venture capitalist was in the audience. He wasn't looking for the next big tech startup. He was looking for something real, something with heart. He saw our protagonist not as a homeless man, but as a gritty, determined entrepreneur who had overcome impossible odds. He was impressed by the simplicity of the invention and blown away by the man behind it. He saw the potential not just for a profitable company, but for an inspiring human story. He decided to take a chance. That first investment was the key that unlocked the door. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the validation. It meant that someone else, someone with experience and influence, believed in him too. With proper funding, he was able to move from a makeshift prototype to mass production. He hired his first employees, many of whom were people he had met during his time on the streets, giving them the same second chance he had been given. He built his company from the ground up, based on principles of hard work, empathy, and innovation. The product launched, and it was an instant success. It turned out that the problem he had identified was one that millions of people were willing to pay to solve. Orders poured in. The media caught wind of his incredible journey, and the story went viral. He went from being invisible on the streets to being featured in magazines and on television. He was no longer a homeless man. He was the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. But what's truly remarkable is what he did with his newfound wealth and success. He didn't forget where he came from. He could have bought a mansion and a fleet of sports cars. But his priorities were different. He established a foundation dedicated to helping the homeless, providing not just food and shelter, but also resources for job training, mental health support, and entrepreneurship programs. He knew that a handout could help for a day, but an opportunity could change a life forever. He started visiting shelters, not as a wealthy benefactor, but as a friend who understood. He shared his story not to brag, but to inspire hope. He told them, "If I can do it, you can too. Your current situation does not define your future." His company continues to thrive, but his true legacy is the impact he has on others. He proved that a great idea can come from anyone, anywhere. He showed the world that we should never judge a person by their circumstances. Behind every face, there's a story, a dream, and untapped potential. His life is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the idea that our greatest challenges can often lead to our greatest triumphs. It reminds us that empathy and opportunity are the most valuable currencies we have. So the next time you see someone who seems to be struggling, remember this story. You might just be looking at a future millionaire, a brilliant inventor, or simply a human being with a story worth hearing. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that celebrates the power of the human spirit. And don't forget to share this video with someone who might need a reminder that anything is possible. We'll see you in the next one.